What's up, everybody? This is Richard Payton, one half of 95 North, bringing you another Behind the Records story. This time I'm going to be talking about Who's Who, a record that we did for Henry Street Records back in the mid-90s under the name of the Hooligans. Went a little like this. So this record was kind of inspired a little bit by Moonshine by Masters at Work. It was like a sample record, and they had the loop in it and some filtering and this, that, and the other. And so kind of kept it in the back of my mind. And Doug and I had gone over to England to play, and the promoter there, Nicky Trax, who was working with us, gave us some promotional CDs of, I think it was the classic Master Cuts series or something like that. But anyway, they had different genres of music, and one of them was some disco songs. And on that CD, there was a record by Francine McGee called Delirium, and it sounded like this. Okay, so you heard those keyboard parts there, and those were some of the parts that we sampled for this record. I'll get to how we did that in a second. Another record that we used was the sax parts, some of the sax parts from this record called Jazz Is that we did on Freetown Records previously. It had a long saxophone solo in it, and I'll just give you a little flavor of it here. So I'll go over which pieces of that we kind of pulled in. And one more record, I think you'll recognize this. So you hear the little oh one more time. So we kind of took that little oh, that was of course the Staple Singers, I'll Take You There. So those were the records that we pulled from. Excuse me. So the main loop that we used was a 2-beat snip from the Francine McGee record. I'll play that right here. If you blink, you'll miss it. Just that little 2 beats right there. We just played that over and over. Then there's another part from that record that we used for, every 8 bars we did like a little keyboard turnaround. So that little piece, and also another piece that we used later on in a funkier part of the song. I'll just play it right here. One more time. Okay. Then as far as the sax pieces, the main little sax piece that came from here, from Jazz Is. Right there. Again, if you blink, you'll miss it. Right there. Okay. Another little piece was here. Those long notes there. Another part. That wailing sound and 2 little 16th notes at the end of it. Right there. And one more piece, another little riff. One more time. Okay, so those were the musical elements there. Next, as far as the beats were concerned, it was a pretty simple beat. It was just basically the kick, the hand clap, open hat, and like a little 16th note swinging pattern. That was all to the beat. Didn't really need a lot because the 2-beat piece from Francine McGee kind of gave the rhythm, so we didn't need a lot of extra snare hits and that kind of thing with the beat. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear it here, but there is basically like a 1-note bass pattern. We played it on beats like 1 and 3. Let's see if we hear it. Actually, every other bar, I think it was, we put one little extra note in it. But the bottom line is just really simple, just to add some bottom to the track. Another thing that we did with the rhythm, so as it was going along, then we threw in a shaker. You'll also hear the staple singers of coming in this part here. Okay, so we had that going. Again, as I mentioned, after the song got going, then every 8 bars we add that little turnaround keyboard piece. I'll play it right here. Oh, I'm sorry. This part is actually the filtered sample loop. So what we did, on the mixing board, we filtered out all the highs. And then the reason we did this is kind of funny. We didn't know at the time how to change the low pass filter parameters in the ASR10 on the sample itself. Later on, Doug figured out how to do it, and you could use the mod wheel to program it to open up the low pass filter. But at the time, we didn't know how to do it, so on the board, we turned down all the highs on the loop. And then next to it, on the next track, we had the unfiltered loop. So we had the filtered loop up, unfiltered loop pulled down, and then when we wanted to bring it in, we just switched the two like this to bring it in. And when we did that, it caused some flanging a little bit. But anyway, so when we brought in the filter loop, we just kind of brought the volume up. And so we just kind of brought it up to the level that it needed to be. Then when it was time to bring in the unfiltered loop, we brought it in and pulled the other one down. And you can kind of hear the flanging. I'll kind of point it out here. You might be able to hear it, but let's see. Play it one more time and point to when it occurs. So we were doing the switch there. You can kind of hear. You can hear it better on the record itself. It'll kind of be obvious as you're listening to it. But it didn't bother us. It sounded okay to us. Besides, we didn't really know how to do it otherwise, so we just left it in. Anyway, so here's the part where I was going to say about with the turnaround. So every 8 bars, we had a little keyboard turnaround piece. Just that right there. So we did that, to keep the track from getting too monotonous, instead of just the 2-beat thing going. Every 8 bars, just put that in there. So constructed the main hook of the song, which was this piece here, the main loop. We just kept that repeating for a little bit. We put another sax loop on top of that at certain points of the song. So that was the main flow of the song there in the main pulse, rhythm, feel. Just for another little piece of variety here there, we pulled out the shaker at one point. Let it kind of flow along, kind of raw right there. A little variety, a little bit of a break. So again, with sample-based tracks, we just have a loop going on over and over. You kind of want to just bring things in and out, different elements here or there. Sometimes you might want to just add sound effects here or there, crashes, whatever the case is, just to keep the song moving, not to have people get bored with it or the dancers get bored with it. And here's my favorite part of the song. It's like I said, there's sort of like this little funky kind of breakdown that we had. And let me play the keyboard piece where this came from. I'll point it out to you. Just that little piece right there, one more time. played it like this. Laying this down, I was actually just playing it live, just playing it in rhythms, holding it down a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, different durations, just winging it basically. Then this part here, we drop some more sax riffs over top of it that we had sampled. Playing it in different orders. So that piece there, again, you know, it's like we had chopped up the sample of the sax, you know, sort of like, you know, on a tape, you know, just dicing it up, tossing it up in the air and letting it fall down at random. It's the same kind of principle where we just had the different pieces there, playing here and there, and you know, sometimes it's luck, sometimes you can pick it out, but we were able to come up with that piece there to make it sort of like another performance of the saxophone there, going over the funkier keyboard pattern that was being played live underneath it. So that all worked out together, and then after that we kind of broke it back down again to just the loop, and then kind of built back up and then let the track ride on out. Again, this is one of my more favorite tracks that we had done, and I liked it a lot. It did pretty well for us as well. So that's pretty much how we put it together, the records we got it from, how we chopped things up, laid it back out, some of the principles behind it, and how we came up with Who's Who. So that's pretty much it. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to try to post another one of these up pretty soon. So stay subscribed to my channel. Keep looking back here. I'll be posting on Facebook when I have something out here again. Thanks again.